Local 5 reporter Connor O'Neill, you were there in that courtroom today. What were some of the arguments from Planned Parenthood in the state, Connor?
Yeah, Larissa. So Planned Parenthood, basically, they requested that the new state's ban on most abortions be put on pause immediately, but the state said the judge should take a longer look at the case. Governor Reynolds signed her abortion ban bill into law at the Family Leadership Summit on Friday afternoon. The law goes into effect immediately, but Polk County Judge Joseph Seidlin could put the new law on a temporary pause.
This issue, this case, this request requires my strong and lengthy attention.
Seidlin listened to arguments from lawyers representing both Planned Parenthood and the state of Iowa.
Your Honor, the court should apply the rational basis test here and also deny the request for temporary injunctive relief.
The state wanted the court to determine whether Reynolds' abortion ban law is of legitimate interest to the state government to even consider overturning.
We would run into a kind of an odd, maybe logical problem, you could call it, if the court were to decide that on the basis of these rulemaking issues that it has to enter an injunction.
But on the other side of the case, the plaintiffs sharing to Judge Joseph Seidlin the potential impact Governor Reynolds' ban on abortions will have on women.
The standard is undue burden. And House File 732 unquestionably imposes an undue burden on those seeking abortions in Iowa.
Or in other words, even Planned Parenthood argued that if Judge Seidlin did not rule in their favor, there would be a standard of significant expense for Iowans.
If House File 732 takes effect, Iowans will suffer. So, Your Honor, for those reasons, we would ask for a temporary injunction, and we would respectfully request that Your Honor rule from the bench on the issue.
Judge Seidlin did not rule from the bench, however.
And so you're not going to get a ruling from me this afternoon. You're not going to get a ruling from me over the weekend. I'll do my best to have something for you before the end of the day on Monday. And if
So Connor, I know some viewers at home might have a question on women who may have probably already scheduled an abortion. What happens now?
Yeah, well, that's a really good question, actually, Larissa. So anyone who has an abortion scheduled, they're not going to be able to go through with it because of the bill that Reynolds signed into law today. And we reached out to Planned Parenthood earlier today on Friday, and they told us they've had to call hundreds of patients who had procedures scheduled.